What will the world look like in Revelation, especially in regard to daily life, cash, the internet, food, employment, homelessness, and more? And how does this tie into Yahuah sealing his people and hiding them from his wrath? Life during Revelation, what will the world look like? As the prophecies unfold, especially from Revelation 6 through 18, we're given a clear vision of what life on earth will look like before and during the Great Tribulation. Cash and the beast system mark of the beast, as in Revelation 13, 16 through 17. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. The implication, a total collapse or transformation of the current financial system is coming. Cash will become obsolete. The beast system will implement a global digital economy, likely biometric, blockchain-based, or tied to a centralized digital ID. Without the mark or its digital infrastructure, you won't be able to buy food, pay rent, or work legally. The internet and surveillance. The internet becomes a tool of control. AI, facial recognitions, smart cities, CBDCs, and social credit are part of the beast infrastructure. And they're doing that already in China. Your data, speech, and movement will be monitored. Dissenters will be silenced or labeled terrorists. In Revelation 13:3, and the whole world wandered after the beast. People will willingly worship the system, thinking it's for peace, safety, and unity. In 1 Thessalonians 5:3, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. Food and famine. In Revelation 6:5 through 6, the black horse, famine. A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see, you hurt not the oil and the wine. Food will be scarce, tightly rationed, and weaponized. Only those with the mark may be allowed access to controlled resources. Many will starve or depend on the state rations. Modern day Egypt, this famine is both physical and spiritual. Employment will be tied to compliance in the beast system. You'll need a digital ID, full loyalty to the system, and possibly a biological transformation, transhumanism. Refuse it and you're locked out of society. Believers who remain faithful to Yahuah and reject the beast will be jobless, homeless, and hunted. You know, it makes me think about that movie where you had to be perfect to be able to work. And what they did was, on your birthday, they would take you, if you made that decision and said yes to take that mark, they did cosmetic surgery on you. And you can tell them if you wanted blonde hair or blue eyes, or if you wanted to be, curly hair and, dark skinned, whatever you wanted. But they wanted you to be beautiful the way that transhumanism had it in their platform. You could do it. And once you did it, you went into this city, and the only thing that you did was party. You would, you could be with any man or woman you wanted. You could live in this city and nobody would bother you, but you had to go by their rules. It was on Netflix. I think I did a video on that. Homelessness and persecution. As in the days of the prophets and apostles, the true remnant will be exiles, driven from cities, hunted, and forced to live off the grid or hidden. But Yahuah promises to protect, feed, and lead his people as he did in the wilderness. In Isaiah 26:20, come, my people, enter into your chambers and shut your doors about you. Hide yourself, as it were, for the little moment until the indignation be overpassed. The seal of Yahuah, who will be the hidden? In Revelation 7:2 through 3, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our Elohim in their foreheads. These sealed ones are the remnant of Yasharel, 12,000 from each tribe, excluding Dan, totaling 144,000. But there's also a great multitude in Revelation 7:9 through 14, who come out of the great tribulation, having washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb. This seal represents obedience to Torah, faith in Yahushua, spiritual discernment and protection, set apart identity. These are the ones where Yahuah hides, feeds, shelters supernaturally. They may not have money, a job, or a house, but they have his presence and provisions. In Revelation 7:16-17, they shall hunger no more, neither thirst anymore, for the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them. So when will the regathering begin? We're already seeing the birthing pains: economic collapse, AI control, famines, war, pestilence, and deception. But the regathering will become undeniable once the judgment begins to intensify and the identity of Yasharel is fully revealed. In Isaiah 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuah shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. The regathering is not just physical, it's spiritual, mental, and prophetic. He is separating the wheat from the tares and making those who are his. So my final warning to you, Yasharel, the world of Revelation will not be business as usual. It may look like there's still money, jobs, and food, but it's deceptive illusion under the beast. The world will marvel at the technology, comfort, and false peace, but it's a trap of destruction. Only those who are sealed, sanctified, obedient, and filled with his Ruach will survive what's coming. So if you're thinking that you're getting on ships and getting up out of here, maybe you are those people that are going like that. But what I've read and studied in Revelation, and it's getting before Yahuah, he says it's going to happen supernaturally. It makes me think about the times that I believe it was Stephen that was teleported from one place to another. And also it makes me think about, I think it was many times in the scripture where it shows one person being in one place and then they're in another place. So I believe it's going to be supernaturally, he's just going to take his children and he's going to hide them to a place like no one doesn't even know, just like he hid Moses' body. Nobody knows where Moses' body is hidden at to this day. So I believe supernaturally Yahuah knows who his children are. And it's not on the outer appearance. Stop thinking it's color. It's the heart that he's looking at. He's looking at your actions. He's looking at your characteristics. He's looking at everything that you're doing and everything that you're saying. He's not going to take a group of people that still have Babylon in their system. They can't even talk without using profanity. They continue to listen to secular music and they support all these celebrity idols and they mourn over their deaths. They're not out of Babylon. They're not even in Yahuah's presence. So if you're thinking that you're just going to get away on some ships that's going to show up here on different beaches, that's not how Yahuah works. He does things supernatural where it can't be explained. So instead of worrying about when he's going to do it, stay in his presence. Because when you're in his presence and you dwell in his presence, it doesn't matter when he does it. Because when you're in his presence, you're already there. And you won't have to worry about this world again. You already see it. You can see it in his presence that you're going to be taken care of. If he's doing it for you now, supernaturally, imagine being in his presence and never have to worry about it again. Take a breath and pause. Selah.